Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video right here on Solana. Wanted to do a full update right here on the current situation and some news, because we got some news, which I'll also try to look up real quick right here. But ultimately, we got that move up into that main resistance level at 160, 158. I was slightly wrong yesterday, because what I said yesterday morning, although I do want to nuance that, right? Because I was wrong in the sense that what I said is that with this move up right here that we started on Saturday and Sunday, it was a move in the weekend. We left some imbalances. I thought it was more likely we would pull back first and then rally into the main resistance, right? So I was wrong about that pullback, but in my defense, I'm always honest when I say something in a video, in an update that's not true the next day. I'll always be honest, but I will explain why I was wrong as well. All right. Now, first of all, I was what did I want to say? So first of all, I was right on the long term, right? Because what I said ever since Monday the 24th, so 8 days ago, is that I thought it was most likely that we would pull back and then rally into that main resistance level right here at 158, 160, 162, right? So the general move I was right about. I was just wrong about a minor intra-range move, right? Because Solana right now ultimately is still within a range. We got some positive news, but it's still ranging, and that's my second excuse, and then my excuses are done. My apologies, but that is that we got news. All right, we got news that the Solana ETF was most likely going to come even sooner. If you go to this account of a Bloomberg senior ETF analyst, I think he posted something about so the Solana plus staking ETF SSK is officially set to launch on Wednesday. And then he also said something about a 95% chance for Litecoin, Solana, and XRP this year. And you can see on Polymarket that yesterday, was this yesterday? Yeah. So that yesterday the probability of getting a Solana ETF by July 31st jumped from 60% to 98%. Right. So because of that news, the price jumped. And I did not see that news coming, even though, partially because of that ETF, I said, I think we're going to do that. However, the price action since then has been, maybe a little bit worrying, because it's almost certain that we're going to get that ETF, right? So that's good news, that caused a rally. But ultimately, you can see that the range which we have been in since the 30th of May, it's this range, and we've been unable to break above that. And even though we had a high volume move, we just rejected at that range, right? And that, in combination with a potential sell the news effect, which we have seen before with ETFs, makes me a little bit worried on the short term. I think long term, Solana is still going to be fine, right? But short term, there might be a little bit of, worrying about a sell the news effect, which also works as a sell the news effect. And, a potential sell-off, like we have seen with Bitcoin, like we have seen with Ethereum, of the Grayscale trust, right? But if you don't know, Grayscale has these private trusts of these major coins. And what happens when these coins get ETFs, like we've seen with Bitcoin and Ethereum, is that these trusts will be converted into ETFs. And what happens then is that these investors can much easier sell their Solana that was in that trust. So what we have seen with Ethereum, for example, last year, is that caused a lot of selling pressure initially. And I think that's something people are afraid of as well. Like I said, long term, I think it's great. The DEX trading volumes have been amazing, which is one of the best measures of network activity and network success. So long term, I think we can do great, and I think there's still a possibility that we'll break out above 160 and 162 when the ETF is announced as well. So that certainly is a possibility. But it's at this point in time, I would say it's more likely that we will maybe get a little bit more of a sell the news effect prematurely. Into those imbalances, and that we will remain stable here within 142 and 160, and that at some point of time it's going to become more clear which one of those breakouts is going to be more likely, But that is not clear at this point of time. So stability, a little bit more of a pullback is what I expect. I do expect this level between 146 and 140 to hold as supports and for us to bounce back up to 156, 158. And like I said, we have a chance to break out, but at this point of time, I don't think that's most likely. So if that changes, I'll be the first to make a new update. But for now, that's it. So thank you for watching. That's what I think you need to know. Have a great day. I'll see you on my next videos, and bye.